Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Press Play, powered by 0 to 60 Energy Drink, where I'm your host, Sid Frazier, and we're looking forward to another exciting night of sports talk with you. First up, we got the National Signing Day, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and the state of NCAA, the coaching tree. Who's fired, who's on the hot seat, who still got a job. We're looking forward to spending this next half hour with you. Hopefully you're looking forward to spending it with us. We'll be back shortly.
I'm Jamison Williams. I attend Cardinal College Preparatory High School in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm a wide receiver committed to the University of Ohio State. I see a lot of great things in Dr. Hayes. She get me loose when I'm running my routes. I feel agile. Also on the track, it's the same thing, so I'm really loose running my races.
I'm Dr. Connie Hayes with Fit for Life Sports and Rehab. If you want a competitive edge on the field, call me, 314-532-0957.
And welcome back to Press Play, again powered by 0 to 60 Energy Drink, where I'm your host, Sid Frazier. And I would like to introduce our panel at this time. Our co-host, starting down on the end, we got Tyler Coleman, Tyler T. Cole.
Let's get to it, baby.
Let's get to it. Big Z, Zelman Sanders in the house. You ready to do it, Z?
Another great day. Let's go.
Every day is a great day that we're above the soil.
You know?
Mr. NFL, Will Franklin, my next co-host. How you doing tonight, Will?
I'm good, man. Ready to go?
Ready to go.
Yeah.
Guys, today is what I like to call the high school holiday.
Yes.
We got millions of kids around this nation that has been dreaming of this day. We think kids go to sleep dreaming of Christmas in December. Once you get to about freshman year, you ain't dreaming about Christmas no more. We dreaming about this day, the National Signing Day. Yeah. We got millions of kids around the country that have been doing this and that's woke up this morning with a whole new energy. Will, you've been in that spotlight before.
Yes.
You've been there before. What does this day feel like to these kids?
It's unreal. You know, it's been a year or two maybe in the recruiting process. You're getting these phone calls every day, getting harassed. And now today, you know, coaches hit you up through Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, texting you. So, you know, it can be overwhelming. But to get to this day, to finally, you know, that, hey, my decision is made. I'm signing my letter of intent, sending it in, and I can just start working on myself to get ready for my first day on campus.
So, Z, same question to you. You've been in that seat before. You finally get to sleep tonight after you sign that letter. Yeah. What does it do to you? I mean, what does it do to these kids? What does it do for these? So let me ask you this. Put it like this. What do they do tomorrow now that this day is over? They've already inked the paper. What do you feel like tomorrow? You back in the hallways at school? What is like tomorrow?
They be on cloud nine. It's like, man, I'm doing it. I did it.
Right.
It seemed like even everybody, when you're walking down the hall, it's like it's just you by yourself and everybody is just looking at you.
Right.
So it's just a great feeling because you coming from humble beginnings and it's like, I'm really about to do this.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
T. Cole, I was going to ask you about a couple of the kids that from our area, from the St. Louis area. Yeah. First of all, Travion Ford coming out of Lutheran North, he's going to be attending Mizzou next year. Yeah. They said today that he was the only four-star recruit to attend Mizzou, to go to Mizzou in this draft, in this signing class today. What do you know about Mr. Ford that's going to allow him to stand out once he gets to SEC country?
Well, I got a chance to see Mr. Ford. I went to his signing day at Lutheran North, so I got a chance to see him. And one thing that he said that Coach Brooke Haley is looking forward to him doing is getting a chance to stand up. He has a great first step. He's a good linebacker, DN. He could be used at both. Man, like I said, his first step is very explosive. He's been big for the Lutheran North Crusaders, and, you know, just came off a state championship last year with him.
Them boys look good, too.
Yeah.
See, when we cross the water, we go over to the ill side. We got Tyler Macon out of East St. Louis, and also the Dominic Lovett.
Yeah.
They coming as a dual package going up to Mizzou.
Yeah.
Man, that's huge.
Yeah, that's really huge because now it seemed like it went from Illinois to Mizzou, and now they got a tunnel that is just going right there. It's a pipeline, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And just to see them, you know, when you coming from where a lot of these kids come from, they just want to be put on that stage. So now you've been hearing about SEC even before Mizzou. Now that Mizzou is in the SEC and you seeing kids come before you, you're like, man, let's go. I'm ready.
So we'll stand on the Mizzou track right now. We got Taj Butts coming out of DeSmet.
Yep.
Mizzou got a loaded backfield.
Yeah.
What do you see Taj going up there being able to contribute, or you think he's going to end up moving? What you see his future being going up to Mizzou?
With the offense that I've seen from Coach Drink this year, man, they use all their backs. You know, they use them in many different ways, many different situations, and you want to go in as a freshman during headlights. You want to go in there like that.
Right.
You know, the coach is going to get you, and they're going to be like, oh, man, we didn't know he can do A, B, C, and D.
Right,
You know what I mean? So during headlights, they're going to have you doing A, B, C, and D, and you don't know you doing multiple things. So him going into this situation where he can go in there and see, you know, they got some great backs that's leaving this year in Levy Roundtree.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
He can step in and be that back up to Tyler Bailey. You know what I mean? Bailey is a great three-dimensional back. He can play slot,
Receiver.
back, scat, you know what I mean? So to be able to have another, you got another guy that can come in with those kind of versatile skills too. You know what I mean? I know Drake will have a field day with those kind of backs.
Tico, let me ask you, a guy like Gabriel Rubio, coming out of Lutheran St. Charles, going to Notre Dame. We actually got a couple kids from the local area that's already at Notre Dame that's looking real good. What's the chances of him going up there and fitting in? I mean, because Notre Dame is huge. I mean, you used to didn't see nobody from our area going to a school like Notre Dame, and now you seeing the gates starting to open up. What do you see? You know what I'm saying, from him? What you think the future looks like?
I think Rubio fits that culture a lot. He's a high academic student. His father played in the NFL. He's a D tackle. He understands what it takes to play at the next level because his dad has taught him. I think he'll fit in very well. I'm looking forward to seeing him. He has great size already, so I think they're just going to fine tune a couple things. But I think that Notre Dame is a great fit for the young man.
So if I had to ask all of y'all, and I give all y'all 15, 20 seconds, who do you think is going to be the impact player coming into the year? We understand, like you say, it's hard for a freshman to even get on the field. But every now and then you got that one that gets an opportunity to break out. Who do you see being able to go in year one and actually be, I'm not asking for a star player, but somebody who actually has a chance to go and contribute?
If I must say, it's a guy that I watched grow up. You know what I mean? Rico Bradfield, who played at the SMAC.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He's a back man that I love, man. I watched this kid grow from a 9-year-old kid to who he is as a senior in high school and going to Ball State where he can go up there and play.
Exactly.
I mean?
That's
one thing I try to. I try to express to a lot of kids, man. Go be seen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't worry about the big name school. Go so you can play college ball.
Big Z, we got under a minute. Who you think? Who you got?
It's kind of hard. It's either Keontae Lewis, I'm wondering why he went with Chip Kelly, or it's Dominic Lovett, saying that he's going to the SEC. So it's something that both of them kids decide to separate, and one go all the way to Chip
West
Kelly,
Coast,
and one go right to Mizzou. So it's between those two, Keontae Lewis and Dominic Lovett.
Tico, you got about 10 seconds.
I'm going to go with Justin Johnson Jr. from Edwardsville. Going into the Big 12 at West Virginia, I think he has a chance to come in and be something special from day one. I know they're looking forward to having him.
Yeah. You know what? Out of all the kids that's headed out, I got to be honest, I am excited to see Travion Ford and what he's going to bring to that Mizzou defense. Being that Mizzou already has a stellar defense, it's going to be exciting to see one of our kids go up there and contribute. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. That would be
You got Jalen Johnson at Ohio State as well, too, who's the #1 recruit, so don't forget about him.
Absolutely. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this segment on that. We ask that you all stay tuned. Do not turn that channel. We'll be back in about a minute or so. Stay with us here at Press Play. That's a long way from home. And welcome back, everybody, to Press Play, powered by 0 to 60 Energy Drink. We're going to jump right into this next subject. The NBA, Giannis Antetokounmpo with the Milwaukee Bucks. We know he just signed a groundbreaking deal the other day, just yesterday. He is a very, very rich man, to say the least. 5 years, $228.2 million. But I like where Giannis went with this. When Giannis gave his presser or whatever, you don't hear many stars really clanging to stay in small market teams. Right. And to see him want to stay in a small market team. Now, of course, somebody gonna say it was about the money. I think he could have got the money anywhere. But to see him to stay in the small market team, I think that's huge for future free agents. And it's also huge for the mid-market teams in the NBA.
Right.
Was Giannis worth that kind of money? Was he really worth that?
Definitely. I think that's like the gross domestic product or something. That had to be for America, like what he just got. Like, that was crazy.
Yeah.
But of course, because the Milwaukee, what's the likelihood? They went from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Lou Alcindor at the time,
correct,
really, to him. You probably Sidney Moncrief, but those are the two. So when you get a person like a star like that, you got to keep him.
Yeah. So, Will, how nervous do you think that front office was before he actually signed that deal? Because here's the thing. He had been saying he wanted to stay there, but we see a lot of people say they want to stay somewhere, and then that money comes from somewhere else, and you see them jump. Like, usually we see stars like this go to the coast. Yeah. Either you're going east or you're going west. Yeah. So what do you think that general manager's room was like, that owner room was like until he signed that contract?
I think they were pretty comfortable. I think they made some great moves last year with the roster that they had.
They did, bringing in a lot around.
You know what I mean? Like, it was a lot put around him. I think he was more locked into staying there because his failures of how he didn't show up in the playoffs.
Right.
And he wanted to make sure that he can go out of Milwaukee if he ever decides on his way of saying he done some things there. So I think the front office was comfortable. They made some more moves this offseason, which puts him in a better position. And, you know, shoot, they threw the back. They took the brink sharks and
bagged it right up. Ty, let me ask you this. With a player like Giannis and his skill set, do you think that this money really, is it solidified? Because his skill set, we know how great of a player Giannis is. But he's still limited. You know what I'm saying? Once you get into the half court, you make him become a shooter. You know, it's all kind of theories out there about it. And we've seen some of these theories be effective in the playoffs. How do you justify giving him that kind of money with the skill set that he has?
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a Giannis fan. He has no skill set. But
whoa,
and we'll get deep into that. But one thing is, like, he has no post moves or anything of that. But if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, you have to give him the money. You know what I'm saying? He is the franchise player. He is two-time MVP. You get what I'm saying? So if you're talking about franchise,
defensive player of the year,
even though that was AD, but we won't get into that. But you know
what
I'm saying?
The trophy?
No, he do, and I'm gonna let him rock with it. But what I'm saying is if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, he's worth that money. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, I wouldn't want to build my team around him. But hey, to each his own. If you're a small market team, you got to take that.
You got the look on your face, right?
I can't.
He's the top 10 player in the NBA.
Yes, easy. So when you're talking about that, you can't not pay a person like that, and he sell tickets, not just in Milwaukee.
He do.
Yeah.
Right.
He sell tickets everywhere. At the end of the day, those owners is about their bottom line.
Yes, sure.
Exactly.
So you got to give them that, because if they're able to give him 200 million,
right?
Can you imagine what they're gonna bring in?
So, Z, what's his skill set other than run, jump, dunk?
I don't think you need nothing else.
How many guys in the league that don't?
No. But when I'm saying, when I'm talking about a guy like that,
he's 6'11".
He is.
Right.
But
That's
you're limited in the
rare.
playoffs.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing.
That's the thing that they went and done to address those needs.
Right, so bringing in people like Drew Holiday, bringing in people like Bobby Portis, DJ Augustine, do them names really jump out at you to say that now that this is
Drew Holiday?
Yes.
But I'm saying to
So
jump out to say
they're
that
beating
this
the
is
Nets.
a championship caliber team?
Are you beating the Nets?
I can't even
Defensively,
say
they're a better team than the Nets.
I'm gonna
The
put it
Nets
like-
don't have a bench to be able to sustain what we are thinking they'll be able to be.
They still got Carousel.
Offensively, they're going to be able to score with the
Still
top
got one
teams in the
ball.
world.
Hold on. And that's fact. But one thing I'm going to say this. Kevin Durant is going to put Giannis Antetokounmpo in hell. It's just what it is. You feel what I'm saying?
He's going to do that to everybody.
No, he's going to do that to everybody. But to go to the finals, he's going to shut.
So you don't think so? Kevin Durant will have to stick him then, right?
And
So is that the
what does that
is that
mean?
the East?
We can do a wall.
baby.
What you mean?
Is that the East championship?
That could be it.
So
That could be
we
it.
discrediting Boston already?
I'm not saying that. I'm not discrediting
You
Boston. I like the Tristan
That's a
Thompson
team.
pickup. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I just like that Kevin Durant factor coming back off this injury. I know he's on something
So
different.
what about Kyrie?
Hey.
Okay.
right.
I want to get back to
Hey, you right.
But you know what? I want to get back to this signing a little bit when it comes to the mid-market teams. When you start looking in the Midwest, you know what I'm saying? The teams like Chicago,
The
you know what I'm
OKCs
saying?
and
The
all that.
OKCs and teams like that. What does that do for them as far as confident-wise to now feel like, you know what? Milwaukee just landed Giannis. we can go out and land the next whoever this may be. We can go out and be able to afford to pay the next whoever it may be.
I think Giannis is just a different breed, though. I mean, Chicago being that it's still Chicago. I don't really put them in there because it's still the third biggest market in America. Because I think they're gonna get Anthony Davis at the end of his career, but that's another thing. But it's the OKCs, it's the Charlottes,
Right.
It's those teams.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So as far as their confidence, how is they GM room looking right now? They ownership group, how are they feeling right now, knowing that Milwaukee just done it? We have to be able to do it. And it also doesn't put pressure on them to do it.
This was a high risk and hopefully a low, this was a high risk chance. I would say that. And hopefully they get rewarded for it. I don't know if they will. The East, they're top heavy. You know what I mean? And they have been the dogs of the East. But
they're going to get rewarded for it
Brooklyn
based on sales.
You're going to get, see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Money-wise and everything, no question.
Yeah. But
Hey.
the franchise gets money off championships.
No doubt about it. I got one last question, closing out, 10 seconds. Is Giannis the best player in the East, T-Code?
No, that's Kevin Durant.
Yes.
Oh, man.
I'm Jason Tatum.
Ooh.
I like that.
No,
sleeper
that's
pick.
fire. I ain't going to lie.
That is an
Hey,
absolute sleeper
for you-
pick.
That sounds like a homer.
Hey, I know. I had a tweet. That said, Jason Tatum is more skilled than Giannis Antetokounmpo. If I'm starting
Of
a team,
course.
give me Jason.
Yes.
Okay.
You know
I'll
what,
leave it at
guys?
that.
I like it. We'll get back to it another day, another time. We're going to get ready to take a quick commercial break. We ask that you do not move, do not change that channel. We'll be right back with more Press Play.
Just One Taste is moving on up. Located now in the heart of Florissant, 18 Patterson Plaza, serving the best chicken, fish, shrimp, tripe, and soul food sides. We also have catering and food truck services. And after one taste, you will be a customer for life.
And welcome back to another edition of Press Play. We wanted to get into this last segment tonight, thinking about the coaching staffs and the head coaches that have recently been ousted, for lack of a better word. Guys, we know that we got Lovie Smith in the Big Ten. We got Gus Malzahn in the SEC, who have both recently been ousted of their positions. I want to start with Gus Malzahn. He had a nice run at Auburn, but never really quite got to the level that Auburn expects to be at. Do you think that the Auburn expectations, Will, was too high for Gus Malzahn and that coaching staff?
Not at all. They're the team next to LSU that everyone looks to contend against Bama.
To beat
year in, year out. You know what I mean? And he had some years where he gave Bama their only loss of a season.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So not being able to have successful years like that and beating Bama, that played more a part than anything else there, because he would beat up on anybody else, especially if you're average in the SEC.
So, Z, let me ask you, with the Gus Malzahn situation, and with all the coaches that are actually getting asked at this time, with this COVID thing being as big as it was, and it impacted, whether we want to admit it or not, it impacted every single level of sports. It impacted the NCAA with the kids being able to practice, would be able to, you know what I'm saying, to do all those kind of things. Do you think that it was fair is not the right word, because we know nothing in life is fair.
Right.
But do you think that this was the right move for Auburn at this time, at a time such as this?
Me personally, I don't think it was the right move, but because even when you start to compare when he won it, I mean, how many Cam Newtons is walking through anybody's door?
Exactly, yeah.
Cam Newton could have been put on anybody's team. He beat LSU down there by himself. So once you see that, and it's like, well, we should continue to do that. It's not too many teams that's gonna be able to find a Cam Newton because they don't come around all the time. So that's why I think the expectations was too high. When you're talking about Alabama, they down there a pro team just in college.
Right. So, Ty, I want to switch gears, and we're gonna go to Lovie Smith over at Illinois. What was going on over there? To me personally, I never liked the Lovie Smith hire at Illinois. It didn't make sense to me. Me personally, it didn't make sense because we had a name. We had the NFL ties, and I understand that that's why they brought him in. Right. But it never really worked. It never really gained traction.
I'm going to actually have to disagree. And the only reason I think he brought a little life to the program, honestly. I think he brought some resurgence. I thought he did a good job.
What did it amount to, though?
Hold on.
What did it equal to?
It equaled to, one, they went to a bowl game last year. 2, this year, it was like, this ain't realistic. You know what I'm saying? That's number one. He did a good job with hiring some USC coaches that he brought on his staff. They got some USC transfers that made sense. He also did a great job at hiring Corey Patterson, bringing in some talent. They have a quarterback for the future now in Isaiah Williams, who's already come in and gave a splash.
A quarterback for the future for Lovie Smith.
No, for Illinois.
He's not there anymore.
Right.
So now what does it look like for this next coach? Where do you think they turn to, Z? Is Illinois even a good job?
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, are you trying to get the Cincinnati coach, and do he want to go to?
Right. I mean, with the year he has,
it's
now,
kind of tough. Illinois is not. It's even though they play, it's Big Ten, but it's not Ohio State. It's not Michigan. It's not Michigan State.
And
so I don't know.
Taken from their pool of talent, though, too. You know.
That's. I think it's a job that worth taking. If you're a coach, I think it's
an up and coming coach or a solidified coach.
Right. Both.
See, that's the difference.
It's you have the Big Ten network. You have what you have in the Big Ten. You can build your program. The thing is, will the university give that person time? And that's where I think Lovey fell short at.
Yeah.
They didn't give him time.
How much time you need? How long
No,
is it?
you have to
Man,
reflip the
yeah,
whole
like,
entire.
You got to understand.
I don't think you understand that,
the
though.
roster that he got when he took over there, they had probably.
But how many recruiting classes has he had?
Two full recruiting classes.
So
he came in on the back end of someone that was already 2-8.
Yep. So again,
and so you got mid-major players trying to be Division I players.
And you got to clear them out first.
It takes time with that. You can't flip a roster like that.
So you saying it was wrong move, bad move?
I don't think they should.
Yes, right now.
I don't think they should.
I think for the timing, I don't think it was good, and with the options that you have.
Yeah.
So do Luke Fickell jump up and leave Cincinnati now and go to
Not
a job
for
like Illinois?
It makes no sense for him right now.
I don't think for Illinois.
So again, is Illinois even
Will
a good
the
job?
university give anyone time to build?
So again, that
Because
goes
the
back
next
to my
person gonna
question.
come in, he's gonna look at their roster. He's not gonna be pleased with everyone on his roster.
So
he got to flip.
That's no
so
matter
that's
where you
another.
go.
That's another 3 years.
So that kind of builds on my question. And with, like you say, with the university, you not knowing the state that the university is in, where their mindset is, does that make that a good job?
I do think that one thing that's going to help whoever the coach is, they got some state-of-the-art facilities now.
Yes.
They did make sure that they got that part covered.
Yep.
Now my question is when you're talking about the quarterback and Isaiah Williams and things like that, you got to get a coach that fit him.
Yes.
Me personally, the option in Jeff Monken at Army, that makes some sense to me.
That's not going to sell tickets in Illinois. Nobody wants to see the Army offense move outside of wherever they stationed at.
You wanna know what's crazy?
Nobody wants to see
You know
that.
what's crazy? That's Big Ten. Big Ten runs the ball. Big Ten
I don't
is
think
a
Justin
conference.
Fields is having any
Big
problems.
Ten is a conference that runs the ball.
I understand. Wisconsin. I don't think Justin Fields is having any problem moving the ball through the air. But my next question was Gus Malzahn. We know, Auburn. We know that they won't have a problem filling that job. It's Auburn.
Clearly.
They will not have a problem filling that job.
You can throw away $21 million.
It's
Yeah,
the SEC.
right.
It's the SEC.
Right.
But speaking of the SEC, and on the opposite end of the spectrum, we got a guy like Eli Drinkwitz down in Mizzou who's having an amazing first year, even with the circumstances that he was dealt. What you think about what was the decision that Mizzou made, first of all, bringing in this guy? Because when he first announced Eli Drinkwitz, I don't think there was too many parties going on. One, because many people didn't even know who he was coming out of Appalachian State. And then it was like, okay, we done seen this show before, with Barry Odom and, all these.
So you think he's like the next Jim Tressel? Because you know how he came from Youngstown.
I hope so.
Yeah, is he someone like that?
It would be nice, but you know what? He don't even have to be Jim Tressel. I mean, you can come into Mizzou and just don't be Barry Odom.
So what about Lane Kiffin then? You think he's going to be a name?
Lane Kiffin is a name already. If you ask me.
I'm talking about as far as Auburn and all that.
He's at Ole Miss.
Hold on, why are we beating up Barry Odom?
Yeah, like,
I'm sitting over here.
I know he went to bowl games
Why are
back
we beating up
years.
Barry Odom? And number one, Eli
listen here.
Drinkwitz, he was an upgrade, right? He gives two things that I absolutely love.
Right.
He's making sure that he loves the St. Louis area.
Yep.
And he's bringing a whole different type of swag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But don't be talking about Barry
Yeah,
like that.
like,
I
well,
like
I'ma
Barry
tell you
Odom, bro.
And
the players love him, bro.
You cannot go with a few years because that man came in off a protest. So you got to remember what he was up against.
Man, I'ma
And
tell you,
He
people
came in
don't
off a protest, and half of that team left there after the protest.
When I looked at Mizzou football under Barry Odom, I wanted to throw up in my mouth.
But see, hold on. But you're talking about it in a small
most boring
See,
programs to watch during that team.
I think the problem is
I'm happy he's gone.
You know, half of the rosters in the NFL that's from Mizzou, and the current kid that's about to get drafted out of Mizzou.
That was
those were his recruits.
You couldn't go wrong with that.
And Will, don't forget as well too.
Guys,
we also have we acting like people don't get put in place to just be there for a second.
I love your opinion, but to me, I don't want to see another Barry Odom. But with that being said, we want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in with us tonight here on Press Play. We ask that you come back and be with us again tomorrow night. If you missed something that we said, or you just flat out can't believe something that we said, you got one simple task. Go back, rewind it back, and press play. We'll see you all tomorrow night.
Hey, bro.